For most of my life, I've been more attractive than most men. And the thing is, they always want to hassle me for it. There's always so much animosity. They're always hating on me. Like, it was my decision, okay? I didn't choose to be born this way. So there's this dude, right? Locked in, best friends. Everyone knows what it is. But I'm telling you instantly how he started being weird. So I slide into this young lady's DMs, right? Mission successful, hip hip hooray. I tell him about it. I'm like, yo, I slid into this young lady's DMs. I'm feeling myself. He's like, oh man, that's what's up. Who is it? So I show him the Instagram. He's like, oh man, she's bad. I'm like, yeah, bro, we dap up and everything. And a few days later, he posted on his close friend story that he slid into some young lady's DMs and he was like, cash. Like, he scribbled out her name, scribbled out her picture. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of like some cornball stuff. I'm gonna slide up, that's my bro. I'm like, oh, that's what's up. Who was it? And he says, a baddie. That's all he says. I'm instantly thinking, oh, so he doesn't want to show me, but I'm not tripping about it. I'm like, it was probably just an unattractive woman. He's probably a bit ashamed and he doesn't want me to see that. I respect it. Then in a few days, we're goofing around. He ends up posting me on his story. Shorty slides up and says, is that Bryce? Mind you, this is Shorty who I slid into the DMs of. And when I showed him the pictures of her, he had no idea who she was. So I'm like, okay, I'm putting two and two together. That was definitely the young lady's DMs that he slid in. But the thing is, I'm still not tripping at this point because it's not like that's my girl. I don't care. Like, go ahead. Now, granted, I don't like him Christopher Columbusing me. Like, I wish he would acknowledge that I was there first, but it's like, cool. Like, yeah, you keeping secrets, but it's whatever. But what does he do to the girl who slid up on the story? He blocks her, takes her out the phone. He complains to me about it. And I'm like, dude, like, you should have known. Like, look at me. Now, I'm about to go on a link with someone else. So I'm trying to leave my apartment. This dude is blocking the door. And he's like, yo, who is it? And I'm like, bro, don't worry about it. Because I'm like, he was being secretive the other day. Let me be secretive right now. And he was like, bro, nah, who? He literally was not letting me out of my apartment. Mind you, bro's like tall and 300 pounds. I'm not getting past him and I'm not winning a fight against him either. So I'm just like, bro, why are you being weird like this? Eventually I cave in because I'm like, man, I'm about to be late. If I don't link with Shorty soon, she's not going to let me get in them guts. I show him a picture and he's like, oh, okay. And then he lets me go. Again, weird, right? But I'm just letting him live. I don't know why. In my mind, I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm the one being weird. But now get a load of what he does next, all right? I think a week or two after that, he stages an intervention with me and my friends. And you know what it's for? Women. I'm spending too much time with women and not enough time with them. What even is that? He's giving me like this whole red pill sounding spiel. He's like, man, it's bad for your health. You gotta focus. It's bad for your mental. I'm like, shut up, bro. I was like, bro, you were talking like you wanted to pipe stuff just as bad as I wanted to, because we were talking about this kind of weird thing to talk about. We were talking about like how much we can't wait to like pipe these young ladies. His response to me calling him out was, bro, I already hit Shorty this week. Like, I'm good, I'm done. I'm like, bro, you done for the week? Like, who are you? Like, what, you hit your quota? See, nothing he said ever made any sense, but he was the ringleader of the group, so everyone just went along with it. Something about me is I'm kind of a reserved guy, but this dude, Mr. Charisma, all right? So he had my roommates at the time just around his finger. Like, they were his posse. They were his henchmen. They were literally his lackeys. So you could see how inconvenient it was for me whenever me and him were getting into it. So yeah, weird stuff, right? That's my best friend, and that's how I'm gonna refer to him in the story. But now there's another thread going on at the same time. Stay with me. One night I had the shorty come over, we slept together, and I woke up and she was out talking to my roommates, like making friends with them. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, it was cool because she was a cool person genuinely, but I'm just like, man, I feel this pit in my stomach. I'm like, what's going on? Like, this, I feel like this isn't gonna end well. And it starts going bad off the rip because the thing is, me and this young lady, she wanted a relationship with me, a relationship type thing. I wasn't looking for that at the time. I wanted something more casual, okay? But the thing is, she became friends with my roommates, so they were bringing her around all the time. So I couldn't have new young ladies coming in because I didn't know when she would be there. Mind you, her friends became friends with my roommates too, so everyone was collabing. As a matter of fact, there was one night I was literally in my bed with Shorty and her friend came over. Could you imagine if she was there? And one day I wasn't in the crib, but these two young ladies came to my apartment. They're knocking on the door and my roommate opens up and they're like, yo, is Bryce here? And the thing is, when they did that, he was with that girl's friend. So again, she probably told her what was going on. And I'm telling my roommates, like, please be careful about when you bring them around. They never warned me. So I just had to stop linking with young ladies at the crib. You know how stressful that gets? All out calls. Like, I'm traveling. Like, I feel like a salesman. But it was low-key fun too. Like, I was going to different women's cribs. I was seeing around town. I was making my deposits. I was doing what I had to do. But it would suck because then I would go to the crib and there was a very good chance that Shorty was just there. And again, I liked Shorty, but I didn't want what she wanted. So every interaction with her was very stressful. But the thing about her is she's very tight with one of my roommates in particular. Like, her and this guy were just locked in. Like, they loved each other. But I didn't think anything of it. Like, I wasn't jealous or anything. And the thing is, even if I did think something of it, I wouldn't have been jealous because, again, that's not what I wanted from Shorty. So that roommate in particular was always the one bringing her around. So I always tried to tell him, I was like, bro, please, like, be careful when you do that. And he never would. I'm like, bro, like, what's this dude's issue? But I'm not tripping too hard because I'm like, you know what? It's his place. That's his friend. If he wants to invite her over, I'm not tripping. Maybe I'm being weird still. I know we're in the middle of the story, but moral of the story, If you think you're being weird, no, you're not. It's 100% them. So that guy is my roommate. That's how I'm gonna be referring to him as. That is not my best friend who did the weird thing with, trying to stage that intervention, blocking me from seeing that young lady, going to slide in the DMs of the girl I slid into and then blocking her when she recognized me. Me and my best friend at the time kind of already have a contentious relationship, but me and my roommate, it's kind of just me being annoyed by him. And I got the sense that he didn't like me very much, but I could never really verify it. Anyways, now it's Super Bowl Sunday. We're having a Super Bowl party at my apartment. A few people are gonna be there, but here are the important people who are there, okay? Me, my best friend, my roommate, and that girl that I slept with, but I don't want anything serious with. So it's that day, me and my best friend are in study hall. I get out before him and he's like, yo, Bryce, just so you know, at the Super Bowl party, there's gonna be this light-skinned girl at your crib. Stay away, that's me. I'm gonna repeat it again. He said, stay away, that's me. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. But I'm genuinely gonna stay away because I don't really care like that. However, I'm glad that he knew he should warn me. Mind you, my girl who's not my girl is gonna be there, so I'm not hitting on anybody. Anyways, we're at the Super Bowl party. Everything's cool, everything's cordial. We're having a great time, genuinely like no beef with anybody. And did I see the light-skinned girl there? Yes, but the most interaction we had were like group conversations where we were in the same group. And fun fact about this girl, she was friends with the girl who wanted the relationship with me. Anyways, again, the night goes fine. They all leave. And the second she leaves, she follows me on Instagram, adds me on Snapchat, and sends me a snap. Mind you, she left with the girl, so I don't know who gave her that information. Like, if they all know her friend wants me, I don't know why they gave me the information. But anyways, she snaps me, I snap her back. This is like a casual conversation, nothing crazy. And remember, that's the girl that my best friend said, back off, she's mine. So I'm thinking, I'm like, probably the same thing old girl did to my roommate, just like becoming friends with the friends. Anyways, the next afternoon, there was a meeting that me, my roommates, and my best friend all had to go to. Basically, the meeting was them telling us not to be grapists. So we're all in there listening to the spiel. It's whatever. We get to the end, people start joking around, asking questions, like flipping it on its head, like, oh, like what if a woman goes to assault us? And I get in on this basically. I ask a half joking question. I'm like, what do you do if someone you're in the same circle with keeps bringing around this young lady that like you're trying to avoid? Now, was that a jab at my roommate? Yes, but it was meant to be taken as like a playful ha ha ha, like we know this is happening, but like no one else in this meeting knows. But my roommate responds by being like, bro, what the, like literally screams in the meeting. So now everyone knows. So everyone's like, oh, there's clearly some drama between Bryce and his roommate. Like, what's going on? So people are like asking questions. I'm just like, man, it was supposed to be a joke. Like, I'm literally just like cooling, but this dude, he's crashing out over it. And when we get back to the crib, my roommate's like, bro, that thing you pulled at the meeting, that wasn't cool. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, you made it sound like I was trying to push up on your girl. I was like, for one, that's not my girl. I made it abundantly clear, especially to you, that I don't want to be in a relationship with her. So if you're trying to hit, I honestly wouldn't even care. And two, I know you guys are just friends. Like, I'm not misconstruing that at all. And I'm going to tell y'all again, I told him, I know you two are just friends. Anyways, after that, he literally gave me the silent treatment for probably weeks. But that night, after me and my roommate had that discussion, I text my best friend and I'm like, yo, like, was it really that bad? Because I'm like, it was just a simple joke. I didn't say his name. It wasn't directed. Like, no one would have known it was him if he didn't react like that. And my best friend, he says, yeah, Bryce, I don't know. I lost all respect for you after today. Now, let me tell you this. I'm not a prideful man, but if you tell me you lost all respect for me, that's going to make me react a certain way. Basically, I do tell him, I'm like, bro, you're so weak for that, honestly. And he's like, bro, I'm not going to do this like over text. He's like, if you want to see and speak about this in person, fine. I was like, bro, no, I'm not. I don't even want to speak to you in person right now. It's whatever. Just like, you don't got to talk to me no more. And I definitely blocked him after that. Cause like, you lost all respect for me. What are you, 5? Over such a simple joke. But the thing is, you guys should know, my best friend, he was not my best friend at this point. He grew closer to my roommates and it was weird. Like, again, they were his lackeys. Like, they were his henchmen. So yeah, he lost all respect for me, yada, yada, yada. But the next day, that light-skinned girl hits me up and she's like, yo, let me take you on tour around campus. And I'm like, all right, bet. Next thing you know, I'm linking at her crib. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you all this. I folded. I did not hit. I did not get any sloppy. Now, there are 3 reasons this could have happened. 1, I was just growing into my looks. I was still super weird personality-wise. I could have like thrown her off that way. 2, I never make the first move. Like, I'm so notoriously bad at making the first move. And 3, it was probably a combination of the both. However, me and her did link a plethora of times. Still didn't hit, but we did link that many times. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not too weird. So I don't feel so bad about it. But everything important happened on the night of that first link, okay? 2 big, massive things happened. 3, actually. 1, the girl who wanted a relationship with me FaceTimed her and she answered. and me and her were kind of just chilling together. It was nothing too incriminating, but I could see that girl's heart drop when she saw me and her, and I was in her room. Anyways, the second big thing that happened, me and her were talking, and she was like, yo, I think your best friend likes me. And in my mind, I'm like, likes? That doesn't very much sound like you're his girl. So I was basically just like, oh, you don't say. And she was like, yeah, that's super awkward. So clearly she doesn't like bro. And mind you, remember, before the Super Bowl party, this dude said, yo, that girl in your crib, she's mine, so stay away. What do you mean she's yours? She's clearly not. And I'm not saying she's mine either, because again, I didn't hit, but she's clearly doing her own thing, cuz. But anyways, she told me that, right? And then he snaps her while we're together. She snaps back a picture of us in her bed. When I tell you, I didn't realize how interesting of a move that was on her part until like months later when someone analyzed it for me. And when I tell you, after this happened, this dude spread every rumor about me he possibly could. He ended all of the friendships I could have had, all of the hoes that I had at the time. Because remember, he was insisting on always knowing who I was talking to. Luckily, I had a few loyal hoes tell me what was going on. They're like, yo, your best friend's spreading rumors. He's saying that, you know, he told you he liked this girl and then you slept with her. I'm like, yo, I didn't sleep with her, first of all. And second of all, I explained to them the situation where he said he lost all respect for me. Because if you lose all respect for me, why do I have to respect you? Why do I have to respect this woman that's yours when she was never yours? Like, bro is purposefully only telling half the story. And the girl who wanted a relationship with me started acting funny too. And when I tell you, I'm gonna save so much time because this is not what the story is about. Me, her, and the young lady I linked with who was supposed to give me the tour of campus, we all had a meeting, like in a meeting room. When I tell you, it was the weirdest thing I've ever been a part of. Because in her mind, she's like, oh, how do I move past this to like get into this relationship space with him? I'm like, man, I low-key just want to link with both of them, to be honest. And the other girl's like, I really don't care about any of this. So anyways, best friend talking shit. Crazy, right? Thank God I had to find like just a couple real niggas where I was like, bro, I explained to them what happened. They're like, oh, he's pillow talking, he's BSing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, thank you. When I tell you I'm not exaggerating, when I'm saying at the time that ruined my life, I had nobody, okay? I was completely dolo. I just hopped from hoe to hoe. Nobody wanted to rock with me after that. They're like, oh, this dude's a snake, clearly. And the thing is, so many of the hoes that I really liked didn't want to rock with me after that either, because he got to them first. And again, Mr. Charisma. And again, he's like best friends with my roommate, so he's linking up at the crib constantly. Imagine the person who ruined your life just being at your crib. Imagine how that makes you feel. To this day, I'm mad about it. People can say I'm dramatic all they want, all right? Like, people came to me, they're like, yo, you know, he said he doesn't have a problem with you. He doesn't dislike you. And I'm like, of course he doesn't dislike me, because he's the one who did it. Like, I'm the one who lost everything from the scenario. Of course he's not mad. He won. But the story does not end here, okay? It's an epilogue. Months later, he reached out to me. He was like, yo, like, do you want to fix this? And I'm like, okay, what are you, my girl or something? But I needed friends. So I was like, all right, bro, fine. Basically, we were like, yo, my bad. And then we were just cool after that. But the thing is, we were never really cool after that. He would constantly be bringing up what me and Shorty did. And I tried to tell him, I'd be like, bro, we straight up never sleep together. He'd look at me like, and it all came to a head when I realized he had my roommates brainwashed, okay? Basically, I remember I showed my roommate a picture of my ex, like, the day before, right? Like, we were just talking about our exes, sharing stories. I was talking about how my ex used to give me flowers. He's like, oh, for real? And I was like, yeah. And I showed him a picture of her and he's like, man, she's so bad, bro. And I'm like, oh, man, thanks. My favorite ex, by the way. The next day, we have a similar conversation, but now my best friend is in the room. And he's like, personally, I would never let a girl get me flowers, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's feminine, blah, blah, blah. If you know me, you know I honestly don't care about that. So I'm like, whatever, I'm just letting it slide. But now my roommate's like, yeah, bro, I don't know how you could do that. I could never. And I'm like, dude, yesterday you was low-key rocking with it. And he was like, I don't know why Shorty would do that for you unless she's trans or something. And I'm like, mind you, of course, there's nothing wrong with dating trans people. But we know the implication he was trying to make. He was trying to make an implication that somehow she was like, she had to just be like a biological male somehow if she's getting me flowers. So that makes me angry because one, transphobia makes me angry. Two, you're switching up on me because yesterday this is not how you were talking. And three, you're disrespecting my favorite ex. But now they're talking crap. They're like, oh, Bryce, let's see her, let's see her. And I'm like, man, I know she's bad. So I show them. And bro, my roommate, the dude who yesterday was like, oh man, she's bad, said, she looked like a whole dude, bro. And when I tell you, if this man wasn't also 300 pounds and tall, I would have annihilated. I had never wanted to crash out on someone bigger than me where I could so obviously lose the fight so bad in my life. But I took a breather, I just left, and I blocked them on all platforms as soon as I left because I realized it was bro, my best friend, who was putting them all up to that mindset. Like when we were just talking individually, me and my roommates, we were always pretty fine. But he's around, now they gotta hate me because he hates me. So I'm done with them. And when I tell you there's an epilogue to the epilogue, I was talking to Shorty who wanted a relationship with me a while back, right? And she told me that my roommate was trying to sleep with her the whole time. And she kept turning him down. She's like, no, like I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. Because let's just say he's no me. But apparently my best friend kept putting him up to it. And he kept telling my roommate that, oh, if she doesn't sleep with you, you got to cut her off, blah, blah, blah. By the way, this guy, super misogynistic. I wasn't able to get into that, but like big misogynist. Like the way he views women unironically makes me uncomfortable. Like I remember one time I was on FaceTime with this young lady and he was looking at the phone, like being nosy, and like he started giving her like a weird look. So she's like, yo, like what's going on? He ended up calling her the B word. It's like, bruh, I've seen some things from bro. Nothing he should be in jail for, but it's like, man, come on. But anyways, yes, my roommate was trying to sleep with Shorty the whole time. And my best friend was putting him up to it. Let's think about why that doesn't make sense. The reason my best friend got mad at me and spread all these rumors about me was because I talked to this girl after he somehow laid claim to her. But again, she didn't like him whatsoever. I actually slept with this young lady. Now, mind you, I don't care. Like, again, I didn't want a relationship with her. But I'm just saying, hypocritical, obviously, right? And it doesn't make sense from my roommate's perspective either. Because remember when he was mad at the meeting that I made it sound like he was pushing up on my girl? Well, guess what he was actually doing? It's crazy. I genuinely did not think he had feelings for Shorty at all, but here I am. It's like the whole situation. I was like, man, I'm tripping. It's me. Like I'm the one being weird. But then in hindsight, look who it is, not me. And can you believe I went through all this trouble just to not even hit? Like that's the craziest part of the story to me. But honestly, I'm low-key glad I didn't hit, because if I were to hit and Shorty started treating me the way she started treating me after that situation, like immediately, I would have folded. Because here's the thing about me. I've never really been ghosted or discarded by someone after I sleep with them. So the first time that happens, if it ever happens, I'm literally gonna crash out. Because again, I am and was a very peculiar guy. So I probably gave her the ick somehow. But something I can hold on to is that she never slept with me, because I'm like, bro, if I actually would have hit, she's not going anywhere. Because that has held true for me, okay? And the day that doesn't hold true for me anymore, heartbroken. Ironically, the only person of that whole situation, just from that entire time period I'm on good terms with right now, is a young lady who wanted a relationship with me. Super cool. But yeah, honestly, that's my origin story. That taught me so many things. Like I had to rely on myself. I was all I had for a while, okay? I had to do my thing. Like I said, I had to hop from hoe to hoe. Without that incident, I would not be Blackburn Seacrest. All right, and that's kind of a beautiful thing behind all the madness. Tragedy breeds success. And I feel like you can probably tell how serious of a story this was for me, because I literally couldn't make jokes. I was trying so hard. But I was like, nah, I really got to give him the main point. But yeah, you know, that's a Super Bowl incident. I've been teasing it for like years, to be honest with you. Like literal years, actually. So yeah, thanks for making it to the end of this moderately funny, moderately engaging video. If you did make it here, I appreciate you very much. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say. I'm so sorry. And have a lovely day. Do your thing.